All right, our 9 a.m. special focus now. Just 72 hours to go before the much-anticipated NSA-level talks between India and Pakistan. But the past 48 hours have witnessed at least 8 ceasefire violations at the international border along the line of control. India Today's senior editor, Gaurav Sawant, is now at ground zero, the line of control, amidst the firing and mortar blasts, filing his reports in conditions our Jawans are facing. The latest dispatch from the LOC is all about logistics.
It's late in the night. There is a lull in the firing and shelling along the line of control. Very thick fog at this point of time, and in midst of all this, the army is trying to replenish stocks at the forward positions along the line of control. This is a mule trail, a rather small one, given the place where these mules are going, with ammunition, food, medicines, essential supplies that soldiers right at the line of control, at the forwardmost base, just short of Pakistan, require at this point of time. With me is Captain Sartaj. This brave young officer is going to take over a post at the LC. Captain Sartaj, what is the biggest threat at this point of time as we accompany this mule trail for troop replacement and take resources there?
At this point of time, the biggest threat would be, I guess, 81mm mortar or 82 oblique that they have. That is the biggest threat, because if we come under the observation of enemy, he may start the mortar fire.
Just now we can afford to switch on the lights where we are, because we are still in the cover of the mountain. Now, if you just look around on top, that illuminated lights that you see, that is the anti-infiltration obstacle system, or the AIOS. That is the fence. Beyond the fence is the line of control, the forward locations where we hope to get in the next several hours, depending on the firing and shelling. Should, God forbid, firing or shelling start, what do we do? What is standard operating procedure at that stage?
We have set drills for it. We lie down on the ground. We lie down on the ground and then we take cover, and there's no further movement after that.
Okay, God forbid if there is firing or shelling at this stage, and we really cannot see where we are going at night, and that is the kind of protection that is required at this point of time. If we look at the mule trail just behind me, these are ammunition boxes that we are carrying to the line of control just now. These have medicines, food, but most important, ammunition that is required given the heavy ceasefire violation that is taking place from the Pakistani side and the punitive response from the Indian side, right? Automatic weapons fire that is taking place, and then, of course, mortar positions that fire. They are much safer. Now, in a situation like this, what is it that troops there ask you? What is it that you would require when you get there?
Well, during heavy ceasefire violations, one of the most important things is ammunition. So we replenish our ammunition as soon as possible. And as far as the logistics supply or the ration are concerned, they are well stocked at the posts.
There is enough food, enough medicines, ammunition required, and that is what we are carrying at this point of time. In fact, some of the soldiers that the officers were speaking to, even as we move on with this mule trail towards the line of control, the soldiers were given an option. You asked, is there something special that you want to eat? So they said, no, ammunition is all that we require at this point of time, because that is all that we want the enemy to eat. With cameraman Kirpal Singh at the line of control, Gaurav Sawant for India Today.
So that was a ground report that Gaurav Sawant actually sent us. He was accompanying an army team which was on a late night vigil. Gaurav now joins us live. Morning, Gaurav. What is the latest that you are in fact hearing as far as the firing along the LOC is concerned?
The shelling and the firing has forced several villagers to abandon their homes, and they're still scared to return. Late last night, when we went to the line of control, there was a replenishment convoy. The mules were carrying resources that the soldiers required, but there is no civil administration to carry anything for civilians who are living ahead of the fence. Now, while some of them are dependent entirely on the army, whatever the army can spare in terms of food or water, they're living off them. Most of them have returned to safer areas. Some who are staying back are only staying back to look after their cattle. The cattle also, as some of these villagers were just telling us, they're unable to get any food, fodder or even water for the cattle. Such is the fear at the line of control that soldiers remain in their bunkers. They are responding to Pakistani shelling, but villagers who live ahead of the fence, they just don't know when can they come out of their bunkers and when they're supposed to continue living in.
Okay, let's go across now to Smita Sharma, who joins us from Delhi, Shujaul Haq, who joins us from Srinagar, as well as Hamza Amir, who joins us from Islamabad. Let me first come across to you, Smita. What is the view of the government at this moment? The fact that last time around they cancelled talks, foreign secretary level talks, given the very same provocation. What are you hearing within the government this time around?
Well, Sanket, the very fact that last time around, on 18th of August, when they called off the foreign secretary talks and made Hurriyat the red line, that was called one of the biggest blunders of this government's foreign policy. Despite a foreign policy which in a way has been re-energized, especially with those Modi overseas visits. And clearly the government does not want to be again seen as repeating such a situation, because it has put at stake a lot of things. Remember, it did not call off the talks post-Gurdaspur attacks, post-Udhampur attacks, despite the hostilities both on the LOC and the IB, which is the reason why the government does not want to be seen as being called the villain, perhaps, which Pakistan might try to do and pin the blame on New Delhi. Also, in terms of the international community, Pakistan will once again perhaps try and flash the nuclear flashpoint card. So these are reasons why the government really does want to go ahead with talks, and that's why all sorts of clarifications are being given that look, Mirwais Umar Farooq is only going to be a part of reception. Syed Ali Shah Gilani is possibly going to meet Sartaj Aziz only after the talks are over on the 24th. So clearly some strong messages have also been conveyed as per our sources from, of course, South Block to the Pakistan High Commission. But at the same time, the government for now does want to go ahead with this talks, which they say is a talk on terror, which must go ahead.
Okay, let's go across now to Hamza Amir, who joins us from Islamabad. Morning, Hamza. India is looking at this as clear provocation from Pakistan. What really is the agenda as far as Pakistan is concerned? What do they propose to do with these talks? Because India has a clear agenda. There is a dossier on Dawood Ibrahim. There is a dossier of solid proof that Pakistan is carrying out infiltration. There is information that there is a ceasefire violation which is started by Pakistan. What really will be on Pakistan's agenda? The same old Kashmir rant?
Pakistan and India is also very clear this time around. In fact, this time, the military and the political government are actually echoing the same voices. Pakistan is going to put up the issue of Kashmir. Pakistan is going to put up the issue of Samjhota Express and share its concerns. Pakistan is going to put up the issue of penetration, as they believe that they have evidence of people caught who belong to Indian intelligence agencies who have penetrated into Pakistan through Balochistan, and also the penetration into Balochistan province by Indian side. They will also talk about the line of control, the quadcopter that was caught, and the pictures that were recovered from that quadcopter, which they said that it came from India. So Pakistan has got also, the agenda very, very clear, that they are supposed to take it forward with dossiers, with evidences. As they say, they will give it to India. That is one. Secondly, this Kashmir issue is something obviously Pakistan can never afford to let go of, and meeting with the Hurriyat leaders is something that they have kept this in practice even in the past. Now this time, because there are more serious issues that need to be discussed from both sides, as both the agendas are very, very strong. So this confrontation is going to matter a lot, because India has got a very strong case in the hand, and as well as Pakistan. So I think this time they are actually going to go ahead with the normal routine of meeting the Hurriyat leaders, but the agenda and the priorities are now different. Other than Kashmir, there is line of control and terrorism issue, which the military wants them to, establish with India, and I think this is what they're going ahead with.
Okay. Okay, Hamza. In fact, Shuja, before I come across to you, let me quickly also tell our viewers that there is no let-up in the ceasefire violations by Pakistan at the line of control. The people living near the line of control continue to flee their homes. The villagers, particularly in Poonch district's Balakot area, are facing the brunt of Pakistani shelling. The terrified villagers have moved to safer locations. Many houses have been damaged due to the continuous shelling. Now, Shuja, at the bottom of it all is, what Pakistan is actually trying to do in Kashmir. the fact that there are ceasefire violations, the fact that there is infiltration, and that is going to top the agenda. So whether there is provocation or not, as far as inviting the Hurriyat is concerned, India's agenda is pretty clear that it is going to highlight these, these things that Pakistan does.
Well, absolutely, Sanket, and there is no option, but to highlight these issues. Remember, for past about a week, there has been such escalation of tension on the line of control and international border that already, 6 Indians have lost their lives and countless have been injured. Thousands of people have migrated from their places and gone to safer locations. And even as we speak, the tension on the line of control is existing, and there is continuous movement of troops all along. So keeping all this in mind, there is no option but to raise these issues with Pakistan and ask them to sort it out. Not just for the sake of the relations of the two countries, but also for the sake of the lives who are living on these areas in the forward locations of Jammu and Kashmir. Also, the fact that of late, what we have seen is a sense of escalation in terms of militancy as well. We just remember Udhampur attack, in which one militant has been caught alive. There can't be more proof than Naved, who is, even as we speak, being investigated and questioned in Srinagar. He was brought back from Delhi yesterday by NIA after his polygraph test, and now raids have been conducted in Srinagar after whatever he has disclosed to them. So all these are solid evidences that the Pakistan will be countered with as far as our sources are concerned. But at the same time, politically, what the leadership in separatists here feel is that it's important for them to meet Pakistanis on every occasion, which means resumption of talks between two sides, because they consider this an important factor that Kashmiris should be made a part of any dialogue that is beginning between these two countries. And that's why this invitation has been accepted, and most of the leaders have said we will go, we will meet Sartaj Aziz, even if it is before the talks or after the talks, that doesn't matter, but they'll have to meet Sartaj Aziz and put their point of view across. Well, Sanket, one of the biggest reasons why he has been brought to Srinagar, according to our sources, is the revelations that he has made in that polygraph test. What we have learned is that there are certain inconsistencies between what he has said in the polygraph test and what he has been saying that out of the polygraph test. That's why he has been brought back to Srinagar, and that's why they are taking him on various locations and getting him to confront various places. Since yesterday, we know that there have been several areas where they have started raiding in South Kashmir. In fact, we also are getting unconfirmed reports that some arrests were also made of those people who perhaps might have helped him in Kashmir during his stay. The other factor is the fact that those people who had infiltrated along with him, their whereabouts is a bigger question that the NIA is working at this point of time. We've been learning that they might make sure that Naved is in Srinagar as long as they're not able to corroborate all the facts and all his versions together, and then possibly will take him back to Delhi.